Well, what could be more fitting just ahead of Father's Day than spending time with the man behind dailydad.net? We're just going to call him the Daily Dad. Thomas Froese is a globe-trotting, award-winning newspaper columnist who writes through eyes that are both whimsical and compassionate. When I meet a young, aspiring journalist, you know what I recommend? Tom's book, 99 Windows, Reflections of a Reporter from Arabia to Africa and Other Roads Less Traveled. I think that's the shortest title I've hit for a long time. It's a wonderful book. And just in case you need reminding, Tom is the proud husband of Dr. Jean Chamberlain Froese, the champion of maternal health and a companion of the Order of Canada. Their 3 delightful children are world travelers with them. I want to say welcome home, Tom, and congratulations on another very interesting family award.
Thank you, Maura.
Tell us about the award.
So I was asked to speak at the annual award ceremony of the YMCA of Hamilton and region. And the Y recognizes people throughout Hamilton and area for their contribution to peace. And every year they bring in a speaker, usually not all the way from Africa, but I suppose I'm a Hamilton speaker as well. So they flew me in from Africa, and as I started sharing, I said, I think I've broken a record for a Hamiltonian who has traveled the furthest to speak at one of these events. And I shared for about half an hour on my thoughts on peace, not that I'm an expert on it, but at the end they said, now we would like to honor the Froese family with this year's main award, main peace medal. And so I was quite surprised, as Jean was. She was there, and then I brought the award back to the children, of course, and they were quite enamored by the whole thing too. So it's a great family memory for us.
Well, this is a family affair. This life that you live on 2 continents, and already I'm feeling the separation anxiety because in August you're back to Uganda. And school starts there, you were telling me, in the middle of August. The kids will actually be a little late plugging into school there.
Yeah, so the children, there's 3 of them, and they're 12, 9, and 9, Elizabeth, Jonathan, and Hannah.
Oh, we've got to see the picture.
Yes. And so, yes, so there's us with Zach, the dog. You can see he's a good Mennonite dog. He's wearing his black that day for the photo. We do an annual family photo on our front lawn in Uganda every April before we come back to Canada. So the children will get, every year they've been getting 2 months of school in Hamilton. They go to Ancaster Meadow, and then the rest of their school is in Kampala. It's about a 45-minute, sometimes hour drive every morning. We're up at 6 to get them in their seats by 8 o'clock every school morning. In Hamilton, we walk out our front door and are at the school in about 3 minutes just walking. So it's a very different experience for everybody.
Great that you can arrange to just come home and the kids plug in. You've been doing this since 2005.
Yeah, and it's the norm in a way for the kids, so they don't really know a lot different. But with that said, there's always transition issues. There's, as you might imagine, different homes you're living in, different everything, different set of friends, different culture. Of course, African culture is very different from Canadian culture. So I think in many ways it keeps us fresh in terms of this back and forth, and it also, you know, applies a bit of pressure in a way that we grow, all of us, especially the kids. I think that they can kind of compare and contrast these different lives.
Such resilience needed here. I love that you describe yourself as a writer and a dad. You never leave the dad part out.
No.
This is your career.
Well, it is a vocation, and I didn't ask for it. In a way, I was doing what most people do. I went to school for my thing, which was journalism. I didn't meet Jean until we were in our mid-30s. I was very focused on success in terms of, you know, working myself up in my career. And then fatherhood came along, and it was kind of this circumstance that unfolded in our lives and in our overseas work. And as time went by, I realized this is defining me, and it's okay. I don't need to have a definition of success that culture is putting on men, I think especially, but women too, in terms of having that career, having that business, having that academic success. You can go all the way down.
Credibility?
Yes, you go down the list of all the things that people get their sense of worth from. And I have found, you know what, as a dad, what more? What more value can I have in terms of the responsibility I have to these 3 young lives? And at the same time, if I can wrap my writing into it, I'm happy.
And you do. Oh, you got to encourage people to go to dailydad.net. And just reading the titles of these articles will make you laugh and perhaps challenge you, because that's your mission. If people are too comfortable, you're ready to make them a little uncomfortable, Tom. Look at this picture. This is just the chapter heading, Meet the Kids. And that is baby Elizabeth with property of mommy and daddy as her little bib. And I was stirred by one of these articles, like, let's see which number it is. It's right here. It is of 99, it's number 22, A Daughter of the World. You'd only been a dad 2 weeks. Elizabeth was just here, just new. And let me just quote you what you say here. You're reflecting on the values that we're passing on to our children, Tom. And you say, it's easy to make kids feel like life is about winning and acquisitions more than stewardship. Your thoughts, more thoughts on this.
Well,
dads are listening.
Yeah, well, really, we are stewards, all of us, believers and non-believers alike. We've been given one life. And what we do through all the myriad of choices that we have in life is what God gives us the freedom to choose, right? He doesn't force us to make any particular choices, even for him. And it's been like that since Eden. That is the blessing and burden of humanity, is that freedom of choice. And I feel, as a father, I have been given these lives to influence, not for any great length of time, really. It goes fast, and they will
You're
be gone.
You're finding that already?
They will be gone. Elizabeth, as a 12-year-old, half or maybe more than half of her time with us is already gone. But if I can instill a sense of stewardship in how I handle my relationship with my children, then they will pick that up. Not by what I say, but what we do, how we do it, how we relate to each other. And our family is not perfect. It's far, far from perfect. We each have our baggage. We're travelers. We have our bags. We have our baggage. But with that said, I think because of the uniqueness of our traveling life, we are kind of forced to talk about things maybe a little more, or we're forced to resolve things a little quicker or maybe a little more thoroughly. Because if we don't, then this whole ministry, if I can call it that, this whole life that we have that revolves around my wife's work, around Jean's work, it's going to fall apart. So we keep our family strong to the best of our ability with a great team around us. And I really want to say, in the years that we have been doing our work overseas, our team has grown and developed and supported us in ways that not only help women in Africa, but that help the Froese family. That just gives us such a sense of we are doing this for as long as God calls us, and it's a very humbling experience, and we're just so thrilled and so thankful. We know people pray for us, we know people support us in other ways, and we know we're kind of maybe watched a little more than some families, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all, God has just given it to us for as long as He desires.
We just marvel at the beauty of the adventure your family is living and the difference it's making in so many lives. But I want people to know, because many won't, that we have to celebrate God's healing and God's greatness evidenced in your own life, because you didn't even see your dad. You didn't meet your father till you were 3 years old. Can you capsulize that unexpected story, Tom?
Yeah, well, it's in 99 Windows, explained a little further, but the quick version is that, like many marriages, my father's and mother's marriage went south. It broke early, and I was born in Germany while my dad was still in Canada. And it took him 3 years of fighting, if I can use that word, with the system in order to get custody of myself as well as my older sister. So that's the reason why it was the day before my 3rd birthday when he saw me for the first time in Germany, and then brought, my sister's name is Heidi, so brought Heidi and Thomas back to Canada, and we grew up here. And the marriage was never was restored. It was never restored. In fact, my mother died. It was a very tragic story, and I can honestly say, with that tragedy has come a healing that has taken some years. And you know, when a bone breaks and it heals, you know that it was still broken. There is through an X-ray you can see where it was broken, but in some ways it's stronger at that point of breakage. And through no choice of my own, I think maybe my interest in fatherhood through circumstances with how Jean's and my ministry work, just the fact that I'm a writer, you know, it has all kind of come from something that was broken originally. And that's how God works. That's how the cross works, isn't it? It's the point of the worst disaster becoming the greatest redemption.
Beauty for ashes. I love it when we get to catch up with you. And I'm just glad you're home for a little bit. And we have to be thankful to send you too, because of all that's happening through Save the Mothers. And by the way, some of the proceeds for this book do go to Save the Mothers, and you have another book coming.
Yes, Moira. So the sequel to 99 Windows is called 88 Doors.
Okay,
so
that's too cute.
See a theme happening here.
Yeah.
And it will be more African-centered. 99 Windows was largely centered on our experiences in Yemen. So 88 Doors will continue the same theme of collecting work that's been published in different places with a little more biography put in between. So.
Wow. So many great stories. You know, we didn't mention this time that you and Jean met at a church group called the Over 30 Unclaimed Precious Jewels Club. How do you like that one? Bet there aren't 2 of those in Canada. But it was the right place for you. I mean, who lives in Yemen? Little Elizabeth spent 2 years of her life in Yemen. But I mean, all of these stories are captured here, and the dad encouragements are all there for you to read at dailydad.net. I just have to leave you with a happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Moira.
I hope it's the best one ever.
It will be memorable, I'm sure.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Moira.